qui a travaillé pour plus de 3 ans sur le dossier. Je pense qu'il y a eu des bons moments, je pense qu'il y a eu des moments plus difficiles. J'aimerais aussi remercier le public, les membres du public qui ont été quand même unanimes, puis ont vraiment parlé des émotions qu'ils ont face au site et puis son importance. C'est pas un site qui, malgré le fait qu'il est physiquement dans ma communauté, c'est un site qui appartient à l'ensemble de la ville, c'est un site qui appartient à l'ensemble des Canadiens et des Canadiennes. That I heard from some who are not supporting the motion, going back to the motion that was passed in June of 2018. You can look at it from all sorts of ways. You might or might not understand the intent. What I can share with you is the intent, although it's not in writing, was that the applicant was going to get a new architect. That was never achieved. And there's nothing that we could have done that could have written that into the motion itself. Were we wrong? Were we right? I think Rick Shirelli provided the timing context of that motion, and if that's the argument that we take the mistake that that motion wasn't well written, I'll take it. The motion wasn't well written, but since then, there's a new application. That process was followed. I don't believe that the intent of the motion was respected. And I think it's important that members of council, to Jeff Lieber's point, before we passed that motion, staff were comfortable with the application. We passed that motion with key indications, and then they're coming back to us saying you've achieved the goals and the intent of that motion. Politically, we can say no, and where I'm puzzled about this is that no one has told me they like it. No one around this table has told me they like it. So if you don't like it, the only action that you can take is to vote yes. For those who argue with me on process, you had 2 weeks to write an amendment, 2 weeks to bring forward a different motion that would have created a different environment. No one could find a different way to go about bringing forward a stop to this project or renewal of that project. I'm open to friendly amendments, but I didn't hear any. Because this, at this point, is the only legal step we can take to stop this and to reset it. Je pense que c'est important aussi de prendre en considération les aspects légaux. Il y a du risque légal. Il y en a toujours. Chacune des décisions que le Conseil prend a un risque. On va arrêter de prendre des décisions, si vous voulez, parce qu'il n'y aura plus de risque légal. On peut arrêter, mais on a une responsabilité face au public. Le public a été très clair. Vous l'avez dans les dernières heures, plus de 2000 commentaires du public de la région, pas juste de ma communauté, qui ont été à vous, qui ont dit, regardez, on n'est pas en faveur. Those of you who speak to LARCO saying, this is in LARCO's hands, you're right. But it's not in LARCO's hands if we're not consistent in establishing what council's direction is. If today we pass the motion, then we're clear about what council's intent. You did not achieve what our objectives were as part of the June 2018 motion. We send that clear message, it offers hope. And that's why we're all involved in our community. That's why we all want to be elected. It's because we believe that politics is the agent for hope. It's the agent for not just change. You're in the game, you're in the arena. You want to make change in your community. So I believe that a yes vote today means this. First off, that we've listened to the community, which is first and foremost the responsibility why we're here. It's very unanimous in terms of the community feedback. And that we send a clear direction so that the applicant knows where we stand. And yes, litigation might be one of those components. But I've seen when leadership comes to the table, I've seen it. Remember the Ottawa Hospital, location of that site. That was going nowhere. It was making the news everywhere. The leaders in this community came together, did a 100-day truce, and look where we're at today. The Ottawa Hospital is well underway, will be built, will be a pride of our city. So I really put hope in our roles and responsibility. I think that if we vote unanimously yes, it will be perceived as an impasse and opens up the opportunity for a 100-day truce, a conversation with LARCO, involve our provincial and federal partners, and yes, maybe in the end we'll lose in court, but that will be LARCO's decision. Let's be clear about what council's wishes are.
Thank you. As you're aware, the City of Ottawa's Plan Committee approved the site plan control